Good morning. It is a beautiful morning, too. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Middleboro, and a special welcome for those who are watching from home. My name is Diane Reed, and I'm a member of this church and your worship associate for today. If you're new here, we're so glad you've chosen to spend your morning with us. We invite you to fill out a visitor card and place it in the offering plate. Visitor cards are found on tables in the foyer and in the parlor. If you're looking for a new spiritual home, we hope you find it here. We want to learn more about you and how we can help you to know us. Our greeters today are Mal Marvel and Kate Van Zandt. They will be happy to answer your questions and help you find your way around. Our sound and live streaming staff are Stephen Lorette and Jeff Giddings. The restrooms are located downstairs. We are handicap accessible with an automated door that opens with an activation switch at the street level entrance of the east side of the building. An elevator located at the rear of the sanctuary serves both levels of the church. We also offer hearing assistive devices and large print hymnals. Emergency exits are at the Main Street entrance on South Main and the Nickerson Avenue side entrance. At the conclusion of the service, there will be an opportunity to share deeply held personal joys and concerns. This portion of the service will not be live streamed. Please take a minute to turn off your cell phone so you don't miss a word or a note, and enjoy the service. After the service, we invite you to join us for a coffee and conversation downstairs in the parish hall. Our coffee hour hosts today are Susan Hotchkiss and her music friends. We're glad you've joined us. You can learn more about our church on our website. The address is on the cover of your order of service. And now let's enter into our time of worship.
Good morning. Our former minister, Reverend Sarah Person, created a very nice recognition for Father's Day, and I'd like us to read it in unison. Now the words are in your order of service. We honor the fathers among us, fathers by blood and fathers by heart, the fathers who raise us and do their best by us, the fathers who guide us, play with us, lead us, support us, the fathers of the heart who cherish and mentor the next generations, the fathers to be who dream of us and delight in our prospect, the fathers who never forgot us and whom we will never forget. We honor them all. Amen. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. Our opening hymn is number 361 in the gray hymnal, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. microphone. Thank you. Good morning. Omnia Soul is not just a song of parting, but reminds us that we are all in each other's hearts, that we are connected in the ways only a beloved community such as ours can be. As we go our separate ways this summer, we know we will reunite in a new year, full of changes, anticipating all the new memories we will make in this mosaic we call life. Omnia Soul translates as follows: The sun warms everything, even when I am far away. Love me faithfully, and know that I am faithful. To life and love we sing.
If you were here Friday evening for the annual congregational meeting, you know that today's unison reading has been adopted as the church's official covenant statement. So if you will forgive me, woo-hoo! Please join me as we say together our church covenant. Creating a caring community is the promise of our church. To listen deeply, show compassion, build trust, and honor our differences, these things we covenant together.
All right, this morning we have our flower communion, our annual flower communion. And just quickly, I'll explain it before we read the unison reading in the order of service. So flower communion is also sometimes called a flower festival and is an annual ritual that celebrates the beauty of human uniqueness, diversity, and community. It was originally created in 1923 by Unitarian minister Norbert Kapek of Prague, Czechoslovakia. The flower ceremony was introduced to the United States by Reverend Maja Kapek, Norbert's widow. Norbert Kapek, who founded the Unitarian Church in Czechoslovakia, was introduced to this special service, introduced the special service on June 4th, 1923. For some time, he had felt that there needed to be some kind of symbolic ritual that would bind people more closely together. The format had to be one that had no way of alienating anyone who had forsaken other traditions. The traditional Christian communion service with bread and wine was unacceptable to the members of the congregation because they felt they had a strong reaction towards the Catholic Church. So he turned to the native beauty of the countryside for elements of a communion which would be genuine to all of them. The simple service was a result. It was such a success that it was held yearly, just before summer recess. So today, in our ceremony, everyone in the congregation has brought flowers or has had some flowers that we've made sure are available. And every person will come down the center aisle and will take a flower back with them. You've all placed, like I said, flowers into the things. If you still have flowers, when you come up, you can add them because people will still take them away. And then you will leave with the flowers. And first, we'll say this blessing or this unison reading to bless our flowers. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in the Spirit and to be one in devotion to the services of humankind. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of the most precious gifts. May we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do the work in this world. So if you'll come forward to take a flower. We can start with the front aisles.
Thank you, Kelly. Our second hymn is number 177 in the gray hymnal, Sakura.
Our responsive reading this morning is number 664 in your gray hymnal by Sarah Moores Campbell. Give us the spirit of the child. Give us the child who lives within. The child who trusts, the child who imagines, the child who sings. The child who receives without reservation, the child who gives without judgment. Give us a child's eyes, that we may receive the beauty and freshness this day like sunshine. Give us a child's ears, that we may hear the music of mythical times. Give us a child's heart, that we may be filled with wonder and delight. Give us a child's faith, that we may be cured of our cynicism. Give us the spirit of the child, who is not afraid to need, who is not afraid to love.
Well, good morning again. Today is the day in the church year when we celebrate and give thanks for our members and friends. Grateful as we are for all that they do to advance the mission of this church and to enrich the vibrant spirit of community that we find and create here. We celebrate the institutional structures that give form to our plans and our dreams, and the individuals who bring those plans and dreams to life. We celebrate the leadership of the parish committee, the dedication of the pastoral care team, the inspiration provided by the choir and the music committee, the guidance provided by our RE program, the services provided by our social justice team, the worship committee, the finance committee, the building and grounds committee, the public relations committee, membership development, the stream team, and the webmaster, and this year the parlor committee and the ministerial search committee, and all those whose work keeps our memorial garden so beautiful. We start today by recognizing the successful year of leadership provided by the parish committee. The parish committee is Jim Bonner, president, Vi Fairweather, vice president, Mark McQueen, treasurer, Jeff Giddings, assistant treasurer, Lois Aldrich, parish clerk, Nicole Sykes, and Stephen Larrett, members at large. We thank you for your service and your determination this year to focus your energies on long-term planning and governance, leaving routine decisions to committees charged with those duties. We thank you for attending all those meetings and bringing your best efforts every time. We are grateful for the progress you've made in updating important church policies, and we acknowledge and thank Dan Hotchkiss in the role that he played through his book Governance and Ministry and his willingness to advise when consulted. You have all been a credit to the church, stepping up as you did to fill the vacuum left by the sad and sudden loss of Bob Waterman in July. Pastoral Care Committee, Sue Curtis is the chair, Dave Kramer, Mal Marvel, and Sue St. Germain fill out the team. We thank you for keeping such close tabs on the joys, concerns, and sorrows experienced by our church's members and friends. The visits, the active listening, the companionship, the advice, the rides, and the meals, and the greeting cards have all made the hard times at least a little easier. And we thank the unofficial members, those who, when they hear that a church friend is having a hard time, show up with meals and help with errands. Susan Hotchkiss, Cindy Bernard, Julie Gould, Nancy Backus, Doreen Lavasser, Patty Simon, and probably others I haven't even heard about. Thank you for your compassion and concern. The Music Committee. Thank you, Bet Giddings, for taking on the leadership of this committee despite a trying year for you personally. Thank you, committee, for all the work you've done together to plan the wonderful program of music that we've enjoyed this year, from the drumming workshop in the fall, to the fall Avis Clay concert, to the solstice singers singing for the longest night, for the coming of the longest night, to jazz music night, to the springtime gala and tapas galore. It's been a wonderful and inspiring year of music for our congregation as well as for the community. The choir. Choir members are Dodie Atkins Perry, Katie Allen, Nancy Backus, Holly Begley, Cindy Bernard, Rick Bernard, Jim Bonner, Sandy Brangan, Sue Curtis, Kathy Daskulis, Rob Dragunas, Valerie Fontaine, Kimberly French, I'm about halfway done, Bet Giddings, Dan Hotchkiss, Doreen Lavasser, Mark McQueen, Mal Marvell, John Mullen, Andrea Priest, Ed Priest, Bill Sherman, Susie Sherman, Patty Simon, Tony Soares, Jeff Stevens, Nicola Wilbar, and Sarah Person. What an amazing list of musical talent that we have. Who does not look forward to choir Sundays? Thank you always to music director Susan Hotchkiss for your always reliable leadership, gentle discipline, expertise, patience, and good humor. Despite being hindered by illness this year and surgical interventions and the seasonal departure of snowbirds and the interruptions and schedules caused by family commitments, the Chalice Choir has persevered and provided us with truly wonderful musical experiences on Sunday mornings. We applaud your dedication and your discipline and the wonderful product of your talents and skills as you have lifted our spirits on so many occasions. And we thank all of you who have participated in the caring choirs that have roamed from Rainham to Falmouth and to places in between. We thank you for bringing the joy of music and its consolations to those whose spirits were sometimes flagging. We lift you up. And when I thanked the music committee, I failed to name them, so let me do that now. Dodie Atkins-Perry, Bette Giddings as chair, Cindy Bernard, John Mullen, Katie Allen, Nancy Backus, Nicola Wilbar, and Valerie Fontaine. The Religious Exploration Committee, chaired by Christine Hoyle, and staffed by Kelly Lowndes and Chris Dargelis, we thank you for the love and guidance you have provided for the children of our church. The stories, the activities, the Build-A-Bears, the learning. We're grateful for the babysitting provided by Nico Puccillo-Dunphy and Jesse Hoyle. And we thank Kelly Lowndes, Greg Stevens, and Kate Melchior for their invaluable leadership in the Our Whole Lives program. It's been a joy to see the children on Sundays, sometimes just a few, sometimes a rewarding many. We're glad to have you here. Thank you for the example you show them for how to be caring individuals in the world. The worship committee was chaired this year by Natalie Johnson and staffed by Vi Fairweather and Tanya Trazik. Have you ever wondered how the church fills the Sunday preaching slots when the regular minister has the day off? Wonder no more, and give thanks to those who do the work of cogitating, strategizing, seeking, requesting, and finally illuminating those days. Worship committee, we are grateful for the results of your work, the monthly meetings, and the fellowship that occurs at those meetings, the reliable follow-up, the blessings of thoughtful organization, and the many fine speakers and presentations that have enlivened our Sundays. The Social Justice Committee has been comprised of Dodie Atkins-Perry, who has chaired the committee, Lois Aldrich, Bill Howe, Lauren Hawk, Reverend Sarah Person, Jane Pitsley, Christine Hoyle, and when she was able, Deanne Bonner. You provided leadership for another Get Out the Vote campaign, coordinating our efforts to stimulate active citizenship through a postcard writing campaign, and you plan to continue those efforts through the summer. I hope many of us here today will join you in that effort. Many folks certainly did in round one. You've selected worthy recipients for our weekly Cash on the Plate donations, which totaled almost $10,000 to institutions from Doctors Without Borders to World Kitchen, to more locally, the Matthew Mission Food Bank and the Herring Pond Wampanoag Tribe Fund. You've been a reliable presence at our peace, justice, and equality vigils. You've done a wonderful job letting us know about events in Middleboro and surrounding communities which advance the cause of LGBTQ+ rights and peer support, and have made us more aware of institutional racism and the need to continue pursuing the cause of civil rights for all. Thank you for all you do to advance the values of Unitarian Universalism in the community. The Finance Committee. The success of our investment committee is one of the best kept secrets of our church. Bill Howe has availed us of his decades of experience in negotiating through the reeds and weeds of markets, foreign and domestic, kept us fully informed of trends, fluctuations, options, and opportunities, and reassured us of the viability of our choices. His leadership of that committee and of the larger efforts of the recently formed Finance Committee have done much to clarify our financial status and options. Bill Howe is the chair and leader of the Investment Committee, Mark McQueen, the treasurer, Jeff Giddings, assistant treasurer, Gil Cote, chair of the Pledge Drive, Stephen Larrett, Aaron Rowe, Alan Melchior, purveyors of insight and wisdom. We thank you all. Building and Grounds Committee, Susie Sherman was the chair, and supported by Alan Melchior, Bill Sherman, and Deanne Bonner. On Friday evening, we thanked Susie Sherman for her years of steady leadership of our Building and Grounds Committee. We take the opportunity now, Susie, to thank you once again. Health considerations made it necessary for Susie to step away from leadership at this time, but we know we will continue to lean on her for knowledge and expertise. When do the water filters need to be changed, Susie? Is the elevator inspection up to date? We thank Bill Sherman, too, for his work on this committee, and Deanne Bonner for her knowledge regarding the Americans with Disabilities Act, and Alan Melchior for creating a chart documenting the expected life of various physical aspects of our church and stepping in to reattach the Black Lives Matter banner when it was blown from its perch, and reinstituting the lighting system that illuminates the path leading to our accessibility entrance. And though she was not a member of the committee, no one did more to ensure that our building became more handicap accessible than Valerie Fontaine. Thank you, Valerie. And we welcome Jim Bonner, who will join the committee in the coming year. Membership development, Doreen Lavasser, chair. Andrea Priest is chair of hospitality. Linda Thompson as recruiter-in-chief for coffee hour. Hosts and greeters. Jeff Stevens as chief barista. Doreen has made sure that all who attended services for the first time and filled out a visitor's card got a follow-up phone call and assurance of welcome. We've relied on Andrea for years to coordinate hospitality for us, making sure that coffee hour hosts are in place and backups are available when unavoidable complications arise. When she ran into unavoidable complications herself this year due to medical concerns, we relied on Linda Thompson as our recruiter-in-chief and Jeff Stevens as our first ever official barista. We are grateful to you for providing these services, and so very grateful for all those who hosted coffee hour and provided refreshments. Stephen Larrett and Tony Soares, we would be remiss if we neglected to give you special mention. And if you served as a coffee hour host or a greeter on Sunday morning or both, we are grateful for your service. Public Relations Committee, which I chaired and included Holly Begley, Bette Giddings, and Andrea Priest. In an effort to see the good work of our church made more visible to our community, I resurrected a Public Relations Committee this year. In chairing the committee, I did little more than help coordinate the efforts of our members. Our presence on Facebook has become more pronounced with more sharing and a wider distribution of posts. Local media hears from us much more often, and the posters, elegantly designed by Bette Giddings, get distributed more widely in town. Thank you, Bette, Andrea, Holly, and especially Bette for volunteering to lead the committee beginning in the fall. CUPS, or the Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans, has had another successful year in celebrating the holidays of the pagan calendar. They also offered 2 worship services that were well attended and much enjoyed. One in August, Lunasa, and the annual Earth Day service in April. Thank you especially to Natalie Johnson for organizing these services, publicizing these meetings, and coordinating their leadership. Thanks to all who participated, including Tanya Trazik, Sandy Smiley, Frank Gerard, Jim Norris, Susie and Jim Sherman, Nancy Backus, and all others who attended and participated. The stream team. The COVID-19 pandemic and the resultant curb and then prohibition on live gatherings hastened the already pressing need to develop and implement ways for folks who cannot be physically present for the worship services to participate virtually. It's remarkable how rapidly our capacities in this area developed and improved. For this, we have especially to thank Dan Hotchkiss, whose dedication to learning the technology and passing along the knowledge has made Sunday morning transmission go effectively and smoothly. In addition, Steve Larrett has done more than I can tell you because I understand so little of what he has done. We also thank Jeff Giddings and J.R. Pucillo-Dunphy for their consistent presence, skill, and expertise, and earlier in the year, Rob Dragunas. Finally, because he prefers not to be a committee member per se, but a helper when needed, we thank JR once again for all his help in emergency tech situations in the church office, in the minister's office, and on Sunday mornings in the sanctuary. Webmaster. And finally, really finally this time, we have to make special mention of the tireless work on our church's website by Dan Hotchkiss. When my friends have clicked on the page, they've been awed and amazed at its professional appearance and the broad range of activities which our church offers or in which we are engaged. My friend Judy used the word amazing no fewer than 5 times when describing her experience on our website to me. So Dan, a great bouquet of thanks to you. And the 2 committees which are not listed in the directory because they were just one-time committees this year include the Clay Parlor Committee, whose members were Susie Sherman, Linda Thompson, Deanne Bonner, Sharon McQueen, Jim Bonner, and Vi Fairweather, and every Sunday we can see the result of their efforts. The furniture is more elegant and easier to use, and the general appearance is beautiful, and the stained glass windows have been repaired. And the Ministerial Search Committee was composed of Andrea Priest, Adrian Gunn, Lois Aldrich, Dave Kramer, and Jim Bonner. And as a result of their hard work, 5 folks applied for that position, and the person who was chosen, Reverend Bo Rivers, was the first choice of the committee. So that's a very successful job, and we look forward to Bo's joining us in the beginning of August. And Val Ortelt is not a volunteer, but a staff member. But I'd like to take a moment here to acknowledge her vital, yet often underappreciated role as office administrator. On Thursday, we presented her with a plaque thanking her for 30 years of service, sometimes under trying conditions, and a monetary gift expressing our appreciation. And as always, there are people who I've left out because my memory is not perfect and my research skills can sometimes leave something to be desired. So if your name should have been mentioned, my apologies, and know that your contribution has been valued and welcomed as well. And now we have a couple of things. First of all, if your name was mentioned in this lengthy list, please stand. Please stand. If you provided services for coffee hour and greeters, but as a greeter, but you are not named, please stand. If you have attended at least one worship service this year, including this one, please stand. Thank you all for the work you've done for this church. And now you may be seated until you stand again to come forward to receive one of the gifts that Kelly has prepared for you.
Help hand out the gifts. So the RE committee makes gifts every year for the volunteers, and it's all of you, so everyone gets one. So please feel free to come up. If you take
The DRE position is a staff position, but Kelly does a whole lot of her own volunteer as well, and always finds time to put RE in the church as a priority, no matter what is going on in her life. We have a little something for her too.
Thank you.
I was 100% correct that I had forgotten to add some names. We did thank the Memorial Garden team en masse, but I would like to acknowledge the individuals, including Patty Simon, who is the leader of the team, Nancy Backus, Holly Begley, Cindy Bernard, Rick Bernard, Susan Hotchkiss, Jeff Stevens, Bill Howe, and Kate Van Zandt. And is there yet something more, Susan? So I hope you heard all of those names, and I hope that you get to enjoy the Memorial Garden anytime you walk past the church or enter the church. It's really just a beautiful addition to our church grounds. And I think that finally ends that, but we do have a litany, a recognition of volunteers litany, which is in your insert, I believe. No? Yes, okay. Oh, here we go. No, I still am not finding it. I got the wrong insert here. Thank you. Okay, the recognition of volunteers by Jay Libby. If you have done a better job than I of finding your insert, please join in a responsive reading. When there was a need, you came forward. And so in the nighttime or daytime, on weekends, and even in the coldest, darkest part of the year, you helped. And so we thank you. Elected and duly appointed, or quietly, anonymously, and unbidden, you did what needed doing. And so we thank you. Sometimes with the help of many hands, other times alone, you worked. And so we thank you. You gave your time, talent, and even your treasure for the life of the congregation. Your families and loved ones supported you in your efforts, worried for you when things piled up, and perhaps grumbled at you for the extent of your commitment. For all things, great and small, you have given this congregation, we take time today to recognize, to thank you, and to honor you. Amen. And now we have the presentation of the Elsie Gaudette Award, Linda Thompson.
Good morning. The Elsie Gaudette Award has been well written about and included in the uumiddleboro.org website with its history and pictures. If you haven't checked it out lately, it has been updated and it's awesome. Elsie was a human dynamo of energy dedicated to serving this church in any and every way she could. As is our custom, when a person who exemplifies the kind of dedication and the love of this church comes to our attention, the congregation speaks up and writes letters to nominate them for the Elsie Gaudette Award. It is a tremendous honor to be nominated and an even greater recognition to be chosen. There were many letters this year for our 19th honoree. He will say he did nothing anyone else wouldn't do. Say it was nothing special. He just felt he could help. But he did. And they didn't. A church needs many volunteers in many diverse skills to keep the train on the track. Some skills are manual, some engineering, some custodial, some advisory, some supportive, some cautionary, some vocal, some behind the scenes, and some professional. We have been lucky because we have that guy. Our guy has been a steadying influence in our church. His real job has been advising churches on financial and membership needs, guiding them to make good sense decisions. He has run informational workshops and discussion classes. He is an author and consultant and headed up a fine infrastructure adult RE course alongside an earlier EGA recipient, Kimberly French. He has served as guest minister on purpose and sometimes last minute. He is both entertaining and enlightening. He is not afraid to make us face our responsibilities and think long term. He helped set up a sound donation accounting system for FUUSM. Our website has been expanded and greatly improved in what has been his spare time. COVID hit us one spring. What to do? Was it going to be what would silence UUs in Middleboro? No. With Alan Melchior and Bob Waterman, he stepped up to organize the TEP team, strengthening the underlying technology to live stream or record our church services and events. He continues to improve our live streaming capabilities in building a new sound system. When the Avis Clay Parlor Committee needed some muscle and help, he and others just stepped in to do what he could. When our hardworking church secretary, Valerie Ortelt, needs some help and guidance, he has been by her side to help with computer help or any other guidance needed. His contribution to our music program is legendary. He is a very talented soloist, bass in the choir, or whatever other part his wife asks him to do. He can sing, dance, and cavort around in velvet as it strikes him. And he is a proud son who loves his talented mother as she approaches old age. His love for her is so obvious and caring. Though I may have missed some of the help he has provided, I am pretty sure you know who is this year's recipient for the Elsie Gaudette Award. Please come forward, Dan Hotchkiss, and receive your due.
But is there a microphone? Thank you very, very much. If I could just take one moment for a little advocacy, it would be that we've just heard about so many individual contributors, and I confess to being one of them. But I want to just promote that one of the things that I try to do, and when I succeed, I'm most pleased with it and most proud, and I feel I've made my biggest contribution, is where I'm able to achieve results through the efforts of other people. And I think we should do more of that. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Dan, and thank you, Linda, and thank you for the L.C. Gaudet Committee, which is made up of all previous recipients of the L.C. Gaudet Award. So, as Dan suggests, it's not just one person, it was a whole group who worked together. Now is the time when we will conduct an offering for the work of this church and the work of this church in this community. The cash and the plate this week will be donated to the Trevor Project, whose vision is a world where all LGBTQ plus young people see a bright future for themselves. Please give as generously as you can. The love and the work of friends and lovers belongs to the task and are its health. Rest and rejoicing belong to the task and are its grace. Let tomorrow come tomorrow. Not by your will is the house carried through the night. Please join me as we say together our unison benediction. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings. And finally, hymn number 311 in the gray hymnal, Let It Be a Dance.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that was our first announcement. Congratulations, Susan, and thank you so much. Some announcements, and then I'll call up folks to add to the announcements, if that's okay. I'd like to remind folks that we are in the midst of our spring auction, and it's online. You can bid on a number of wonderful items, and if you have not yet checked it out, we are inviting you to check it out. And a special announcement this week for Thursday at 6 o'clock. It's listed as Kimberly's book launch, and a little more information is in your insert. Thursday, June 20th, from 6 to 7:30 at the Middleboro Public Library, a talk and reception with Kimberly French, who co-authored with Nancy Schwoyer and the late Rosemary Houghton, Radical Hospitality, Transforming Shelter, Home, and Community. If you'd like to say more about it, Kimberly, you're welcome to come up and do that. And Vi, you have it in.
Hi, I just would like everybody at the close of the service to stand on the front steps. We would like to get a picture of the congregation and our friends that are here. So if you need to take the elevator, go around and come in at the bottom. But those who can, go out to the front steps.
Thank you, Vi. And before further announcements, I'd just like to say that I think one of the great benefits of this service is not just the opportunity to acknowledge everyone, but I think a lot of us don't understand or truly comprehend just how much goes on behind the scenes besides the Sunday mornings. All of those committees, all of those people, all of those gifts to the church. It's really a healthy, comprehensive gift, and we should be grateful for it. Lois Aldrich.
Good morning, and I'm here speaking on behalf of the social justice team once again. I think Reverend Peter mentioned, thank you, that we're going to be hopefully busy during the summer doing postcarding and other events. We don't have the campaign yet, but should be hearing about it soon. So in the UU updates on Friday, if you saw, there was a segment about the social justice team's plans for the summer. And you have contact information there if you're interested. I also have a list of the names of people who helped us out the last time. So you'll be the first we call. But if you want to be included and did not participate last time, I'm going to leave a sign-up sheet on the table there if you want to be called to do any postcarding or letter writing or anything we do over the summer. And we're also doing some educational sessions about our voting system. And the first one was posted in the UU updates. It'll be July 29th at 6 p.m. And there will be a Zoom link. That Zoom link is already on the website, thanks to Val, so that was good. And also, if you feel more comfortable doing things for our democracy on your own individually, the UU Social Justice Action Team, that's a national effort, they put together 50 items you can do as an individual that are very doable, and I printed out that, or Val printed that out, and it's on the table there too, in case you want to grab a copy and you're more comfortable doing things individually to save our democracy, that would be fine too. And a couple other things in your order of service, you saw that, I think that mentioned the Narcan training that's coming up June 24th. This is an opportunity for us to learn what to do if someone has an opioid overdose and how to administer Narcan, and Narcan will be provided. We are working with Middleboro Matters on that. They're an organization that works to prevent substance abuse in Middleboro specifically. So, and I think, and also one more thing, June 19th is Juneteenth, so a big celebration. Probably the the second Independence Day in America, because this is to celebrate the freedom of slaves for real back in 1865 in Texas, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So Juneteenth is a big event, and the Bridgewater community, BCCR, is having a event on June 22nd in Bridgewater, which is posted also, thanks to Dodie, on our website under the Social Justice Team page. So many things going on this summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois. Kimberly French. Once again? Oh, you're here for Joyce and Soros. Okay, well, we'll finish up with announcements. Sue St. Germain.
Hello, if you haven't written a memory page for the album that we're going to give Peter on his celebration day, please do so. Vi and Cheryl and I are the team meeting Wednesday to creatively put it together. You can see me from my email address. Our last minute pages I can receive from you in print and we'll put them in. Okay, thank you. Thanks,
Sue. And on that topic, this is actually the last service that I will be in the pulpit for. So I hope that I'll see many of you next week at this little farewell Peter celebration that the church is graciously holding. But if you can't be here, I just want to take the opportunity to say it's been a wonderful 2 years, and I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to serve here, and I really feel like it's a great culmination to my career as a parish minister, and I want to thank you all for that. Thanks. See you next week. Kimberly.